In today's class, we are going to learn how to derive the formulas which are involved in marginal costing chapter. Before we learn how to derive the formulas, let us understand the basic terminology. What are the terms that are involved in this marginal costing chapter? Unless we understand the terms or terminology in marginal costing, we cannot understand the formula derivation. No need to remember any formulas. We will derive the formulas with the help of small example. Before I explain the formula derivation with the example, I want you to understand the basic terminology which is involved in marginal costing. Right. Now, generally what is the main objective of any firm is what? Profit maximization. Any business main objective will be profit maximization. Means getting maximum profits. What is the equation for getting profit is revenue minus profit is nothing but if revenue exceeds its cost, it is called profit. Profit is nothing but the difference between revenue and cost. If revenue exceeds its cost, if revenue is more than cost, we will get profit. Now, how to get revenue? What is the equation for getting revenue? How we will get revenue? Revenue is number of units sold. Number of units sold into selling price per unit. Selling price per unit. What are the two sources available for getting profit, for increasing the profit? See, profit depends upon mainly on revenue and cost. Profit depends upon revenue and cost. These are the two factors which influence the profit. If revenue increases, profit increases. But how to increase the revenue, we'll see now. Revenue is what? Number of units sold into selling price per unit. The business cannot sell more number of units. What is the reason? Why the business cannot sell more number of units? Because it depends upon market demand. Number of units depends upon market demand. Based on market demand only, we should sell our units, sell our production, market demand. So, profit cannot be increased because we cannot sell more number of units. Right? Now, what is the other way of increasing the revenue? Revenue increases if you sell more number of units. But this is not possible. What is the other alternative for increasing the revenue? You should increase the selling price per unit. They will increase the selling price per unit. But this is also not possible. Why it is not possible to increase the selling price per unit? Because this depends upon your competitor price. What price your competitor is fixing, based on that you should fix the revenue for your product. You cannot fix more than the competitor price. Let us assume that your competitor is fixing selling price for 10 rupees per unit. You cannot fix more than 10 rupees. Either you can fix 10 rupees or less than 10 rupees. That means the revenue can be increased only on account of two factors. Number one, either you should increase the number of units. Q means quantity. How many units the firm is going to sell. This is also not possible because it depends upon demand. Based on market demand only, you should sell the units. So this is not possible. So what is the other way you can increase the revenue? You should increase the selling price per unit. This is also not possible because you cannot fix more selling price for your product. You should fix the selling price based on your competitor price. In my example, what I have taken? The competitor has fixed 10 rupees per unit for the same product which you are selling in the market. So you cannot fix more than 10 rupees. So what are the alternatives available for increasing the revenue is not possible. You cannot increase your number of units which you are selling, and you cannot increase your selling price. So what is the other alternative left over is, this is not possible. You cannot increase the revenue. What is the other alternative for increasing the profit? You should reduce the cost. Means you should keep the cost as low as possible. Now we are going to discuss about cost. We are coming across two types of costs. I will explain now. What are the two types of cost? For producing any product, basically you will be incurring two types of cost. The costs are fixed cost and variable cost. Unless you understand this, you cannot understand the formula derivation. So, for increasing the profit, what is the other alternative? You should reduce the total cost. Cost means total cost. Total cost. Total cost is equal to fixed cost plus variable cost. Now I explain what is fixed cost and what is variable cost. The name itself is telling, the term itself is indicating the meaning. For example, let us understand what do you mean by fixed cost. Generally, for producing any product, you are supposed to spend some amount of money. That is called cost. Right? Cost is nothing but the money spent for producing a particular product. Whatever it may be, either it is a fixed cost or variable cost. You should first understand what do you mean by cost. What do you mean by cost? It is the amount spent for producing a particular product. Amount spent for production of a product or unit. Production of a product or unit. This is called cost. What are the two types of cost a firm has to spend? Those are fixed cost and variable cost. Fixed means what? Constant. It is not going to change along with the output. Irrespective of your output, this cost should be incurred. What are the costs? Salaries paid to the staff, rent paid to the building, insurance. These are all the costs that is not going to change along with the output. This all comes under fixed costs. Even though you do not produce anything for zero level of output, this cost should be incurred. But this cost is not good. This is the reason why they named it as fixed cost. The cost which remain constant, which will not going to change along with the output. Even the output increases also, the fixed cost will be same. Even the output decreases also, the fixed cost will be same. That means the fixed cost is not going to be affected with the output. That is called fixed cost. Examples are salary, rent and insurance. This is clear, I think. Now, so we cannot change the fixed cost. So how we can reduce the total cost now? This is not possible. This cost remain constant. Now our target is what here? You should reduce the total cost. Reduce the total cost means you should reduce the fixed cost or you should reduce the variable cost. So this is not possible. Because fixed cost always remain constant in amount. So if you want to reduce the total cost, which cost should be reduced now? Only variable cost should be reduced. If you reduce the variable cost, the total cost will remain, the total cost will change. For example, this remain constant. If you want to reduce this should be reduced. The name itself is telling variable. Varying means what? Changing. Variable means something which is changing. That means the cost which changes along with the output. That cost is called variable cost. Best example for variable cost is what? Raw material cost. For producing any product, you are supposed to incur raw material cost. If you want to produce more output, you will require more raw material. Right? At the same time, one more example for variable cost is labor cost. See, labor is a very important factor that helps in the conversion of raw material into finished goods. How the raw material can be converted into finished goods? With the help of labor. So labor can be called as conversion cost. What is the other name for labor cost? Labor cost is conversion cost because it is helping the raw material to convert into finished product. That means if you want to increase the output or increase the production, you require more raw material. If you require more raw material, variable cost will be increased. So you should keep the variable cost as low as possible. Then only the total cost will be reduced. If the total cost is reduced, profit will be more. So finally, in a nutshell, I will explain you this complete two items, how they are going to affect the profit. Right? What are the two now? Before I explain the two terms, I want to explain this on the coordinate axis. How to explain this on the coordinate axis? First of all, let us see. This formula derivation is very, very important and very informative and very interesting. These are going to discuss in the next section. For only today, what I am going to explain is, I will just explain fixed cost and variable cost. How they are going to present on a coordinate axis. What is coordinate axis? X-axis and Y-axis. Coordinate axis is nothing but X-axis and Y-axis. How they are going to represent this on the coordinate axis? For example, this is the coordinate axis. O, X, Y. Always output will be taken on X-axis. This output will be in units. This cost, both costs, whatever cost it may be, I am representing on Y-axis. Just now I told you what? Fixed cost remain constant irrespective of output. So it should be a line parallel to X-axis. This cost is called fixed cost. See, if you want, you can observe it. Even though you produce 0 units also, fixed cost will be this one. Let us assume that fixed cost is 1 lakh. For your example, I am taking fixed cost as 1 lakh. If you produce 0 units also, fixed cost is 1 lakh. If you produce, let us assume that 10,000 units. Fixed cost how much? 1 lakh only. Even though you produce 20,000 units, fixed cost is 1 lakh only. This means the 1 lakh remain constant. Even though you produce 0 units, you produce 10,000 units or you produce 20,000 units. This cost is not going to change. If any cost that is not going to change along with the output, how you should represent the coordinate axis? This should be a straight line parallel to X-axis. This is fixed cost. This remain constant. Even though you produce 10,000 units also, fixed cost is 1 lakh only. You produce 20,000 also, fixed cost is 1 lakh only. Even though you do not produce anything also, 0 units also, fixed cost is 1 lakh. Like this, you should represent fixed cost on a coordinate axis. Now, how you should represent variable cost on a coordinate axis? Very, very important. How you are presenting this on a coordinate axis? Same. O, X, Y. Here cost. Here output. Naturally, output will be in units. This will be in rupees. Now, variable cost line should start from origin. Why it should start from origin? The reason is, if you do not produce anything, no variable cost. That means variable cost is directly proportional to output. This will increase along with the output. See how I am presenting. The cost is going to increase along with the output. For example, this is 10,000. This is 20,000. This is 30,000 rupees. You are producing 1,000 units, 2,000 units, 3,000 units. As it goes on increasing your, for example, 10,000 units, what is the cost? 1,000 units, 10,000 rupees. 2,000 units, 20,000. 3,000 units, 30,000. The cost which is going to change or going to increase along with the output, that cost is called variable cost. That's the reason why it is starting from the origin. Why it is starting from the origin? What is the reason is? Variable cost will be 0 at 0 level of output. But it is not in the same. But it is not same in the case of fixed cost. Like this, both the cost should be represented on a coordinate axis. See, before I conclude this section, very, very important point where many students will be committing the mistake, I am going to explain. That is, fixed cost always remain constant in amount. For example, fixed cost is 1 lakh. But the fixed cost per unit will change. Fixed cost per unit for 1 unit will never remain constant. It is not constant. Only in amount it is constant, but per unit is going to change. For example, you are producing some 10,000 units. What is the fixed cost per unit, ma? Fixed cost per unit is equal to 1 lakh divided by 10,000 units. So fixed cost will be how much? 10 rupees per unit. If you want to keep the fixed cost per unit less, means what should be done? Output should be increased. For example, if you produce 20,000 units, this is Q. Q means how many units you are selling. For example, fixed cost is 20,000 units. So what is the fixed cost per unit now? Amount is same, 1 lakh only. Amount is 1 lakh. Divide by 20,000 units. So it works out to how much? 5 rupees per unit. That means if you double the output, the fixed cost per unit is coming to half. What is the reason? Because the same 1 lakh rupees that has been distributed over more number of units. The fixed cost is 1 lakh is distributed over 10,000 units here. So it works out to how much? 10 rupees per unit. But here, the fixed cost same 1 lakh is distributed over 20,000 units. So per unit is coming down because increasing the output. That means if the firm increases its output, the fixed cost in amount will remain constant, but per unit it will decrease. If output increases, fixed cost per unit will decrease. The reason is the same 1 lakh rupees will be distributed over more number of units. Naturally, the fixed cost per unit will come down. In the next section is very interesting section. Please don't miss. In that section, I am going to explain the formula derivation, which you will never find in any one of the books. Right, ma? Thank you.